Oh, it's me, Gaby, in front of my ring light filming Back to Basics. You know, I wanted to do a video where I was talking, but I also wanted to do a video where I did SFX makeup, and I was like, wait, what if I do them at the same time? So I'm gonna be talking about, I'm about to have my 1 year of being vegetarian. Very, very exciting. Not really. I don't think anyone really cares about it except for me and maybe my friend Alex. And I'm gonna talk about that while I do the Glasgow Smile makeup. And I'm gonna do it in a way that you can replicate it at home, especially if you're not like as experienced with SFX makeup, because Halloween is coming up and I want it to be like accessible so someone else could do it. So I'm using the Marin Bruges palette, but you can also use eyeshadow, and I'm not joking. I love this palette. It's called Monster Mattes. It's got 36 colors, and I think that's great. You can make so much with this. I really like using powder. If you're doing stuff on yourself, it doesn't really last as well if you're doing it on like a film set or for theater or for something like that, which is why we use other things, alcohol based, etc. This is liquid latex, also by Marin. Also, if you're wondering, I don't use this applicator on anyone else. I have specific products that if I can cleanse them properly, if I can sanitize them, yes, I do use them on someone else. Like, I would just get new liquid latex if I was using it on someone else. Also, enjoy my little patches. Wouldn't go away, so it's just gonna be here for the video, and they're festive, so we're fine. I went this is gonna be really hard to talk while I'm doing it. I went vegetarian, I think it was kind of like the end of October last year. Also, this goes without saying, please don't use latex on yourself unless you have patch tested it first. Please don't put it directly on your face until you know for a fact you are not allergic. And yes, you can have a reaction on your face if you are not allergic, like on other parts of your body. I've heard people having that where like they can do it on their arm but not their face. So when I first went vegetarian, it was kind of just a random fucking decision, and I think I get asked like, why did you do it? Which I didn't expect that when I went vegetarian everyone would have so many questions. I just kind of thought no one would care, or I don't really know. I don't know what I did expect, but a ton of questions wasn't really it. I just tore this cotton ball up to do a cotton build. I don't know. I think maybe it's like the longer you are, you know, vegan or vegetarian, you stop getting the questions as much, like why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? And it's just like, oh, it just came out of nowhere. Or, I'm not really sure, because to me it's like not really that big of a deal. It's just like I just decided to stop eating meat, you know. It's just like, oh, I should just not do that anymore. I think that's all in the same way. It's kind of like doing eyeliner. It's like hard to get it even. Although I guess for this type of makeup, it doesn't really, you know, you don't need it to be even. Yeah, like, I just kind of stopped. I tried to go completely vegan a while ago, and it was not good to do that all at once, and I don't really recommend anyone to do that all at once. I think it can be a lot for your body, and if you don't really know what you're doing, it can just kind of, like, I didn't even know how to cook tofu, which is not that hard. But it's actually kind of sad that I didn't know how to cook tofu. It's like easier than cooking meat, actually. I still don't really know how to cook meat. Can cook tofu phenomenally. No, I'm kidding. I like know how to cook meat. I just don't really practice. I never really did get the hang of like making sure that I could cook it all the way and not give someone food poisoning. Chicken especially, I would get really nervous. That's actually something that I didn't even think would happen, or I didn't, you know, I didn't really consciously make that decision, but it is so nice how little I have to worry about food poisoning now. There's obviously cross-contamination and there's food poisoning and other things that are not meat, but being honest, a lot of food poisoning does come from meat, and it is super awesome to like not have to worry about that anymore. It's not why I did it, and I don't know. There's not really a right reason to go vegan or vegetarian. Like, do it for whatever fucking reason you want to. No, I mean, part of the reason is if you know about the meat industry, specifically factory farming, which is the majority of where our stuff comes from, it is not so good for the animals, and I don't consider it very ethical. You know, a lot of people don't know, and that is really depressing, I think, because everyone deserves to know where their food comes from. That's part of it. But also, I don't, to be honest, think a lot of people would actually want to know how factory farming works and what it really and truly is. Or that maybe people think, well, I'm sure that happens some places, but not to the food that I'm eating. And that's just not true. It's like exactly the food we're all eating. Once I really started learning, it's pretty hard to not you can't really unlearn it, you know? And the thing is, I'm not even that much of an animal person. I'm not really, you know, I don't really like animals just because they're animals. I like some animals, but I wouldn't like say I particularly am passionate about farm animals. I just know where I draw my line morally. I can see why people feel so strongly about it. I mean, I don't think it's right to, you know, be screaming in someone's face, but I can see why someone might see that and think, how can you not care? But the truth is, there are people who, they do care, they just don't know. It's a very tricky industry. They don't want to show you that's happening because, well, you're not going to want to buy it if you know where it comes from. But it's also, you do have to end up accepting that there are people who know and they don't care. Maybe that shouldn't really surprise people that much, because there is basic empathy that a lot of people lack, and they don't even have it towards other people, let alone animals. So, and of course, there's also the environmental aspect, which is another reason I stopped. Stuff always looks so weird before you like add any paint or like color. This just looks like random shit on my face. Could I have built this not on my face? Yes, but I didn't, and you can see me doing it. But if you want to do it not on your face, you can do it on a piece of wax or parchment paper and then peel it off and then stick it on your face. But personally, I can find, for something that's so specific to my anatomy, that I would do it wrong and not to match my anatomy very well if I was doing it on a piece of wax paper. So I'm gonna let that dry. I dried this a little bit with a hairdryer and it's still gonna dry a little more, but I can mix the colors I want while I wait. Some other questions I get asked a lot are, do you still eat fish? The answer is no. There's a lot of debate in, I guess, the vegan community. A lot of people feel very strongly about vegetarians, that it's not enough to not cut out other animal products, because if you do know about factory farming, you know that, you know, it doesn't just stop at like killing animals and such. There's a really good documentary called Dyin. I will warn you, it's extremely disturbing to watch. I haven't even gotten through the entire thing. I think it's obviously disturbing because it's all real footage. It's all taken, you know, without the, I guess, permission of the people who, I do recommend people watch it, but if you don't have the means to go vegan, it could be kind of hard to watch, just in the sense that, like, if you can't do anything about it, it can make you feel really helpless. There's a lot of vegan debate about, is there any circumstance where it's ethical to not be vegan? And that is the question, isn't it? I mean, ideally we advocate for veganism to be as accessible as possible, because the truth is, it isn't easy. And I think saying that it is easy discredits people who have done it. The world around you just isn't that friendly to eating plant-based. So for example, if you're like going to a restaurant, a lot of restaurants don't have an option that is vegan and also like sustainable. Sometimes they'll be like, we have a vegan/vegetarian option and it's just like rice with vegetables, and it's like, well, that's not really, it doesn't have protein. All right, this is mostly dry. So anyways, I'm not vegan. That's another question I also get. Would I like to be? In a perfect world, yes, but it is very difficult for me. I don't want to lose my tolerance to dairy, which is a thing that happens. It can happen with meat as well. You know, I get low blood sugar. It's really, really not good. I would really be worried that I would have a and it happens a lot too. Like, it happened literally yesterday. Yesterday, though, I was super impressed. I was at AMC. I had a blood sugar episode. I was watching a movie. My blood sugar just dropped. I was like, fuck, what do I do? Well, do what I normally do, and I go, well, guess I have to spend money on food. I really hate spending money on food in general when I'm out, but I went to the lobby and I was like, probably my best option is gonna be cheese pizza. That's like the thing that's like everywhere. They had Impossible Nuggets. You could order Impossible Nuggets and you could get them, they were like fried in the air fryer, and it was awesome. So that's a circumstance where it's like I didn't have to eat dairy, but there's a lot of circumstances where I would, and that's super annoying. It's like, a lot of places, I really just wish they would have a vegan option, even if it's like not ordered that much, because if you just have something that's like frozen or like vegan naturally, like falafel for example, some people are like, well, why don't you just take your own stuff? I do. I take protein bars everywhere I go. I try really hard to be prepared. It still happens. That's what happened yesterday. I had a protein bar I'm not good at feeling when I'm hungry or like when my blood sugar is about to be low, so I just kind of don't really know. But I'm gonna try and press into this so that, you know, creates that look that we're going for, which is, you know, I don't know, the Glasgow smile is like the person cuts the mouth like this. There's no way the camera picked that up, but if it did, it was amazing. I just heard an owl. That was pretty cool. Don't actually Glasgow smile yourself. This is only into latex. I can't feel it at all. Do not go method for this one. These are also really, really dull. I just did this light, you know, skin irritation that I was doing with this is the powder. I would use alcohol, an alcohol-based makeup if I had it. And I just mixed a black to go here. I don't usually like to use pure black. I usually mix it like with red. Well, a lot of people do use pure black and that's fine. Another question I get asked is, do I miss the taste of meat, or like do I crave meat? And I know it sounds like I'm lying for the cause, but like I actually don't. At least the thing is, when you stop eating anything, you stop craving it because your body isn't used to it anymore. So, you know, if you've ever done like a sugar cleanse, for example, like you just stopped eating sugar, after a little while, you don't crave sugar as much. I think I miss certain foods in the sense that they're like not, that I would like, you know, a vegetarian version of it, like empanadas, salteñas. I'm Bolivian on my mom's side, so I guess I do, you know, miss some of the cultural foods. And my mom did make empanadas vegetarian for me last Christmas, I believe, which was so kind, and they were so good. They were made with like Impossible beef, which is like, it was very like indistinguishable from the real thing, just because Impossible, it actually is like so similar. And I'm recent enough vegetarian that I obviously very easily remember what meat tastes like. There are people who, you know, it's been for so long they don't even really remember. Chicken nuggets, like Impossible nuggets and stuff, I feel the same way. I'm like, oh my god, this is so similar. I think the dairy-free Ben & Jerry's the other day. It was so crazy how similar it was. Like a dark red on top of this. Like I had the Marin red, and I will usually mix it with like a little bit of brown just to like prime it, I guess. Get on my lip too. It's not that I think like, oh, like meat cooking doesn't sometimes smell good. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it like actually really gives me like an ick. I'm like, ugh, I can't smell that. It kind of makes me feel sick. But it doesn't really mean that I like want it, I guess. Am I healthier now? It's another thing I get asked. Absolutely fucking not. When Burger King stops making phenomenal Impossible burgers, I will be healthy, but definitely not. People who, you know, I said there's not really a right or wrong reason to do it, and I still stand by that. But if you're doing it for health reasons, I do question it a little bit, because it's not necessarily healthier. A lot of things are vegan and vegetarian that are naturally vegan, like Oreos, for example, are naturally vegan. It's like very common one. Sour Patch Kids are vegan. That's actually crazy. A lot of people don't know that because they seem like they would have gelatin, but they don't. God, gelatin is like so annoying. That was like one of the things when I first started. I was like, oh fuck, I really have to stop eating like all this shit with gelatin. It's so much fucking shit has gelatin in it. Yes, fucking Pop-Tarts have gelatin in it. A lot of people are vegetarian, but they still eat stuff like gelatin. And once again, that's fine, because draw the line wherever you want to draw the line. There's not rules. It's not really anyone else's business. And I have to stand by that, because otherwise the logic would be inconsistent for myself. Because I'm always like, why is it such a big deal to people what I eat? Sometimes it can be good to talk about if it's a cause you really care about and you're like, wow, I really wish more people knew about this. Yeah, talk about it. But, you know, I don't really think the way to get other people to change is to like yell at them all the time and tell them that they're bad people for not going vegan and vegetarian. Because sometimes you just have to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna die on that hill today or ever, because my peace is also important. And now this is starting to look silly, like I'm starting to talk to you and this is looking silly because I'm having this like moral conversation while I'm doing this on myself. And if you can see, I'm really just like filling in the spots that I didn't get with, I'm kind of just doing one color and I'm gonna go back and add more depth. So I'm actually gonna do that and then come back. Now I'm starting to feel like a little silly that I have these on, so I'm gonna take them off. Also, I didn't even mention, this is like the Joker makeup. This is like what the Joker has in like every Joker movie. I know this might be unpopular for someone who's into film, but I actually don't like The Dark Knight. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I think Heath Ledger's the best Joker, but I really don't like The Dark Knight. I'm sorry. And I think the awful thing is that I like Joker. I like the movie Joker, but I don't like The Dark Knight. Isn't that terrible? I think everyone should get mad at me for that. If you're familiar with my podcast, you would know that this is how I feel, and it's not good. Also, don't watch my podcast. That's a joke. I'm just kidding. Watch my podcast or listen to my podcast if you want to. But me and Eric don't really like advertise our podcast because it's like the podcast is like it's just us. We're just like, this is like our way of like, I don't know, venting. And like if anyone wants to listen, fine, but like it's not like our goal to be, I don't know, famous and get paid and all that. It would be kind of cool though. I don't know. Me and Eric did get paid to yell at each other. It'd be kind of fascinating, truly. But if you are interested, it's called Get Busy Dyin. It's on Spotify. Without over explaining the obvious, go dark where the deepest part of the cut is, darker, then it gets lighter. Did I answer every FAQ that I get? This is like FAQ, but like people aren't asking me the questions. I'm just thinking of questions I get asked a lot. The main one is why did I do it, and I explain that for the most part, but also just like part of it is just that I felt like it. Like I'm gonna be honest, like it is. You don't again, you don't have to have a reason to do things like that. You can just do it. You have free will. Do I get mad at other people for not being vegetarian? Yeah, sometimes. Like I said, it's when you really learn about factory farming and how it works, and it does make you upset. That it makes you upset at like the whole world, because it's like how do people not know about this? How can you not care? But I think that's how I feel about a lot of things. And you know, like I said, there's a point where you just need to be like, I can't use all of my energy on this. I'm getting completely different lighting on my mirror versus like this ring light, you know? This looks a lot more distinguished where you can see the cup part is, I think. Let me see if I turn this down, what it looks like. Yeah, it's a little more like natural. No, I don't have scab blood. If I did have scab blood, that's what I would use. What I do have is Barren stage blood. But you can, I think you can mix like corn syrup and food coloring to make, I don't know. I haven't made my own blood in a while. Well, besides the stuff that's in my body, I make that every day. You know what's funny? It's not funny. It's actually particularly unfunny. Whenever I get my blood drawn, which is often because I'm a sick Victorian child, I always say, I use the same bit every time I go. It's just, when am I gonna get that blood back? Like, I kind of need that. It's not funny, and they don't think it's funny. And I don't even think I think it's funny. Putting it right on the inside. Oh, before you put this in your mouth, make sure it's mouth safe. You know, I am using a mouth safe one, but that I know is mouth safe. It's like skin safe, mouth safe. Check, like if you have one from like Spirit Halloween, or if you made your own, make sure that whatever it is not going to kill you, please. You know, you gotta do a little drip. I really like asymmetry, so I like to do. It's like maybe just on one side. I just saw Spirit Halloween today, so I do know that if you go there, they have like scab blood. It's not by this brand, but I just like it because if, let's say, you're at like a Halloween party or something, it's gonna dry. Like, it's not gonna do what this is doing, which can be really cool because like it can grip. And when I work at the haunt that I work at, sometimes I like for it to melt. Like, it looks cool after a while. Sometimes it looks cool melting on an actor's face. So sometimes I like to purposely not seal so that it will melt and look awesome. I do it on myself too. Let's say you get the look exactly the way you want it. Well, you want it, let's say you're at a Halloween party, you're like drinking, whatever, you want it to not come off. It's on my teeth. The contrast, the way this looks on camera and the way it looks in like my mirror is so different. It's actually unreal. So generally I like a look to look like something without blood at all. It's like my goal. But also, if it doesn't come out the way you want it, yeah, I'll fix it with blood. I hope it actually looks good. Like, look, I wouldn't even know. I'm kind of a perfectionist. We can keep using the cream to fix it, or we can say, sometimes it's okay to be imperfect and leave it the way it is. Let's try to add some cream. And if it doesn't do what we want, that's fine. we. Why am I using the royal we on you? I'm sorry. Guys, I'm like being delusional. It like looks good. Okay. This is so unserious right now. Thanks for watching this video. I like doing weird videos that don't really have a common theme. I kind of want to do another one of these before Halloween. But also, like, you know, who knows? Maybe you need this makeup year round. Like, honestly, you could. I don't know you. Let me know your thoughts on veganism, vegetarianism, and also SFX makeup in the comments, or anything else you want to see me to do a tutorial on. I do have like a decent, I'm like intermediate with SFX makeup. Like, I do it professionally, but also could still have a long way to go in terms of stuff I'm learning. Oh my god, I almost did my podcast intro. I was gonna be like, thanks for listening and get busy, Dyin. I'm not doing that, but I guess go listen to the podcast if you want to. Anyways, not that you want to. Oh, I say, see you later, alligator.